Hello everyone, Comrade Snake here. It's been a while. So I am here with the demo for Master of Command, a new game by, I forget the name of his development company, but his name's Armchair Historian on YouTube. He's an interesting channel there. So he's been working on this game. I actually have the previous game the company made, which is okay. It's got some issues, and they seem to be aware of that. They're making a whole new type of game here. I've played a couple, more than a couple actually, a few rounds of the available demo here. It allows for basically playing the first act of a Prussian campaign. So that's what we're going to be doing, because that's all I got here. Yeah, we're going to see how all that goes and have some fun just messing around. So we'll go through how the game works as we play it. But so here in your menu, when you start a campaign, you have 5 factions to choose from here, although in this demo we only get Prussia. But then each of those factions has 3 different types of armies, but we can't unlock the other ones in this demo. We only have the first available one, the Cantonist levies, or levies. That's the right word. Kingdom of Prussia. So we have our infantry march quickly, and we reload faster than most. So that gives us some good maneuver. We have decent heavy infantry, or better than average heavy infantry, that are quite good for holding the line. But our artillery is kind of mediocre, and our units tend to be expensive to maintain, so that's a problem. Our default faction trait here, Junker Aristocracy. So our officers gain experience 50% faster. But when we go to a town to recruit officers, there's going to be less options. We can't get that many. Now, of the available armies here, we have the Cantonist levies. I might be mispronouncing the word canton or canton anyway, but in the mid-18th century, Prussia recruits conscripts via a unique canton system. So canton's kind of like a district, much like modern reservists. These soldiers are drafted into the army for basic training and then furloughed to the villages in peacetime. This allows them to maintain a large supply of trained manpower. Mobilized cantonists are not the best trained soldiers of the Prussian army, but they remain loyal infantrymen. So as you can see here, we start with, this is our starting resources for this faction. We start with 250 provisions, 225 thalers, which is our money or currency that we use to buy stuff. We have 100 reservist manpower, which is not much at all, but it'll be okay with our unique system here. And 500 ammunition, which is a good chunk that'll get us through at least a couple battles. So our unique ability here, the canton system. So we enlist 350 reservists every time we enter a settlement for the first time. So we just get a free 350 manpower, which is pretty nifty and good for the very beginning when we're a little bit short here and have to fight a few battles. And then we have our starting items and then our starting officer. So we have Moritz van Anhalt-Dessau. He's level 2. So he gives plus 6% morale when enemy units are in his command radius. And he's orderly. So plus 10% stamina and 5% veterancy gain, and then timely, plus 10% reload speed and plus 5% movement speed. And that's for all brigades under his command. And every officer can have up to 4 brigades under their command. So all of them have those traits added onto them. So we have a unit of Prussian musketeers, which is kind of our standard line infantry, and they're a very solid unit. We have provincial cavalry, which is, an okay light cavalry unit, kind of bare bones cavalry unit, but hey, it's something. And then we have 2 units of recruits, our most basic recruit level infantry. Not particularly good, like significantly worse in both reload speed, accuracy, morale. Like our base morale for Prussian musketeers 50 versus 35. Shock is the same, but melee skills half. Just stamina is less, speed is less. They're just overall worse unit in every way. But over the course of the campaign, they can be upgraded to standard units or other types of units as well. So these guys, are what you have as your base unit, and they can always be upgraded down to various branches in this. And then it's similar for the other factions. They have a recruit level unit that you have to build up some experience with, and then you can transition them into better units. And then we start with some items in our inventory. So we have just this treatise, which just gives reload and movement speed, a quartermaster, which lessens morale but gives faster experience, which is important for these cantonists. Can get them up. Less morale damage with that. Field musicians gives 6 morale and movement speed. Ramrods plus a reload and accuracy. And then we have tobacco. Oh, there it goes. Come on. Tobacco, which gives more accuracy but less stamina. And so we can equip units with various equipments to improve their stats. All right. So I'm just gonna leave it on like I'm not casual. What's difficult? No, let's just reset. Let's just go totally bare bones. We're not going to give ourselves any bonuses or malices. We're just going to go totally normal modifiers. Just go with that because I've played a few times. I played on difficult and casual and regular, and I'm still kind of getting the feel of things for the most optimal way to play. But that enemy nation, so we can choose what we want to fight here. So we can fight by default because we're Prussia. We can fight France, Russia, and the Austrians. Really, we don't really necessarily fight the British or or Prussia because we are Prussia. But we could turn them on and off just to kind of mess around. But we'll see what we want to fight because we might end up with various options here as you'll see in a second. So we'll just leave that the way it is. Okay, and not Iron Man. We're just gonna kind of play it out, see what happens. So continue. Okay, so here we go. We have 3 potential options here and various things. So we can invade Saxony and we can invade Saxony, reinforce Pomerania, or occupy Thuringia. So what does this mean? It means we're going to get a different map to fight on. We're going to face different enemies. So here we fight the Austrians. Here we fight the Russians. And here we fight the Austrians and the French. So we got a whole variety here. And then we have different rewards if we secure different objectives. So this one here, if we secure 3 battlefields, we'll get a unit of Prussian Fusiliers, which are a pretty good heavy infantry unit. So that's cool. So that might be something we want to consider. If we capture 4 forts, we get Frontline Focus Doctrine, which is minus 15% to fire damage received, but plus 30% to flanking damage. So if we're in a firefight in the front, we'll get much better results here, minus 15% damage. That's pretty good, but more we can do for flanking. And because we're Prussia, it's fairly likely that we'll end up outnumbered over the course of the campaign, if not, maybe not necessarily in the initial engagements, but later on. So that could potentially be bad if we're not well positioned. But it's still an interesting idea. I'm kind of intrigued by that, especially with the Fusiliers on offer too. But it does require capturing 4 forts, and that can be harder than it might sound, especially since we don't start with any artillery or anything. So that's a little tricky. So here we get a unit of Free Corps Jaegers. Which light infantry unit. That's an interesting potential one. I haven't used light infantry very much, only a couple times, so I'm not quite sure the best way to utilize them yet. But they have really good speed and stamina and reload ability, but they're a smaller unit. But that's still an interesting option. And then we have Camp Powdermaster. So we generate 10 ammunition a day. Excuse me. For -1 Thaler. That's an interesting idea. So that'll basically keep us good on ammunition, but we're just kind of hemorrhaging some money. But especially if we go raiding heavy into the area, that might be might be worth it. All right, and over here we have siege 2 forts, and we get a field artillery, which I do like that. Artillery is very strong. And if we secure 6 settlements, we get Pillage Doctrine. Thaler stolen +3 per regiment in raiding stance. So I do like to pillage, so that could be pretty potentially useful. Although I'm slightly unsure of what it means by secure. I don't know if that just means I have to walk into them or if I have to, if that means raid them. I'm not totally sure. So I'll have to, yeah, maybe it's worth doing that. Now sieging 2 forts. Once again, it's not that terrible, but it can potentially cause a problem if we don't already have artillery. But it might be worth trying. But we got to fight the Austrians and the French. This is a tough call. I really don't think I'll be able to secure this one, to be honest. 4 forts that's a lot. Also, this is capture and this is only siege. This makes it sound like I don't have to actually win. I just have to, like, try it once and see what happens. So, I don't know. That's a weird one. This is very easy, though. So that's a very easy unit we could get a hold of pretty quickly. But I think let's go for this. Let's see if we can maybe get some artillery and get some extra money from pillaging. Let's go for it. All right, here we go. Gonna generate our map. Okay, so here is our camp. So we have our overall commander, which is Frederick II. We got our officer here, and we got his 4 brigades. So you can attach various items to units here. You can also upgrade their item slot with money to get more. You have their equipment. So our musketeers start with just some decent basic equipment. Our recruits have bad equipment, not good. Coupled with their bad range, it's just yeah, they're not a great unit. But hey, our cavalry, we just got some bad swords. Nothing really good there, but you know, hey, they'll do the job for at least the beginning. So we can equip units here, and we will. I want my musketeers to be really solid, so we're going to give them a lot of good shooting power, because that's what I want them to have. I want them to have really, really good shooting. And we're going to give one of our recruits the quartermaster, so they get more experience faster. Because they have worse morale, I'm going to give them less morale damage received, just to help them keep in the fight longer. And over here, we'll give you guys I'll let you guys be a little better at shooting here as well. That'll be good. Yeah. Okay, nothing for our cavalry though. Oops, accidentally lowered the unit amount there, but we're okay. We're back to normal. So we can also name units if we want. So why don't we do a little bit? So and we can also customize their banners too. I'm probably not gonna mess with that really. I'm just gonna you know, kind of keep some other ones here. So you guys, just so we know who's who, you'll be the what would be a good name? I don't know. We'll just be Freddy's boys. There you go. We got Freddy's boys. Over here, we'll these guys with the better veterancy, they'll just be they'll be the noobs, and you guys here, scrubs. So we got the noobs and the scrubs, Freddy's boys, and this will be a Horsey 1. There you go. All right, cool. So we can also spend money to expand and add new brigades to the armies. But it's pretty expensive. We don't have enough coin to do that. We also don't have any more officers or brigades or rather regiments to add to the brigade. So there's no point doing any of that right now. But we can also go into the tree here and see. So as they gain experience and levels, they're able to branch off into various things here. So we have that provincial cavalry, which can become hussars, or go down to become dragoons, and eventually cuirassiers. I can never pronounce that word, but heavy cavalry. They can also become these Fusiliers that become Jaegers, so this kind of freebooter infantry. Then they have, of course, Musketeers, which become Veteran Musketeers to Lifeguard, so our kind of more standard infantry, which can also become Grenadiers or Veteran Grenadiers, so heavy infantry. And then we have that Landemilts, which is kind of like militia, land militia, which can become those Fusiliers we saw, so just a better heavy infantry here, which can also potentially cross into Grenadiers, but you have a significantly better unit that can be here, but they won't be able to go any farther without crossing into here. They can't become better than this. Decent, but not great this. But the point is you can get to a pretty decent unit quickly with only 2 experience bars in each. So you can get there much quicker than you can to, say, Musketeers and Veteran Musketeers. Even though it's a weaker unit overall, you get to it quick, and it's still much better than keeping recruits around or even the land militia. And then, of course, artillery. So you can become battalion artillery, which becomes field artillery, which becomes horse artillery. Yeah, so we'll see that as time goes on. So let's get into it. Let's leave our camp. War is upon us. Generally stand at the frontier. Your forces are disciplined and in good order. A nearby supply depot lies ahead. Lightly defended and will serve as starting point to begin a campaign. So this is kind of your opening battle here. We don't need to read the rest. So we can also take a look at around the map here. So we have a big major village up here, which has some negatives. So drain recruitment and iron shortage. So not good for recruiting infantry or artillery. So probably just not a great town for us overall. But we got a couple forts. We got a fort here, fort up here. So we have 2 forts we can see right away, which is good. And there's another fort up here. So we got several forts there. And then secure 6 settlements. So we still have to figure out what secure exactly means. Now, if you look up here, Osterdat, it has popular support. So more reservists available, and they cost less to recruit. I'll show you that when we get to a town. Brain drain, less officers established. But this would be a good place to replenish recruits if we need to. And then down here we have, this is a good item selling area and good for provisions down in Altenburg. This. So this. And there's going to be more smaller villages and stuff on the map that we can't see, and just other things in general we can't see yet, including patrolling enemy armies and various things. So here's the enemy headquarter army, currently 6,000 out of 9,900. It'll get larger though. So we have a certain amount of time until that army will reach full strength, and then it'll start to hunt us down. And we're going to have to fight it, and win or lose, that's the end of this act. All right, so let's get started here. So we're going to fight this enemy. We can take coin, we can take provisions, or we can take ammunition, or we can just leave it alone. We're going to take coin, and then we're going to fight this little battle. So we get a little battle name. We could in theory retreat and just take attrition losses, but we're not going to do that. So we outnumber them. They're just some recruits and some, similar bad cavalry as us. So we have the same amount here plus a unit of decent musketeers. So we're going to fight this battle. So this is kind of like a total war battle, but I actually think the flow is a lot better than like Empire Total War and stuff. I just think it feels a lot better to actually battle it out. So let's see, what can we do here? Well, a couple things to note. One, terrain can give cover bonuses, and you're gonna get units in places like in hedges, in trees, in buildings. That all gives cover, so that reduces the damage they take from fire combat. Hills like this give an accuracy bonus and somewhat of a cover bonus, just because of like the slope when you're up on there. But most importantly, they give an accuracy bonus. So that's very nifty. And we have a lot more around, so we get this. Now, one thing about this demo, maybe this will be different in the full game, but the enemy basically always comes right at you, so you can fight defensively without really any trouble. So that's, it is what it is. So I'm actually going to lock our guys into a column because they'll move a little faster. So I'm going to see if I can beat the enemy to the hill. They're actually closer, but I think if we march quickly here in column. Now we have our own hill, so we could just hang back and wait for them to come at us, but I don't, and you know, sit in the tree line or whatever. But I don't want to do that. I'm gonna try to fight it out. So we are gonna try to march up and beat them to the hill, or at the very least match them on the hill. They'll get slowed down a bit by the river too. They can still, you can ford over that, but it will slow them down. So that'll help. I'm gonna keep Frederick kind of near the recruits because it'll stiffen their morale a bit. And Horsey 1, their horse is in the middle. It's just gonna kind of move up with them, and potentially, you know, we might need them to countercharge the cavalry here. So we're going to end deployment, and then I'm going to immediately pause just to make sure we don't lose any time here. I want everybody to start marching up, and they're all just going to walk on there. We can kind of zoom up a little bit so you can see a nice, it's a simple but effective 3D model. We're going to keep them all on volley fire. You know, there is a lock melee button so you can charge. And you have a fire at will, which is on, so they'll just start fire, get the closest enemy unit. Which I'm okay with for now. Sometimes you want to hold back on that and kind of get units in close to make sure they can do maximum damage. But if we get to this hill, which I think we're going to get there, I'm not going to worry too much about it. We'll get the increased accuracy. But I am going to, at some point, want to use melee, most likely, just to prevent the worst damage. So I'm going to have the musketeers kind of get up on this. I want them to get, when we move to line formation, I want them up on this here to get that cover bonus. And then we can get 2-on-1 with 1-on-1 there to really help out, keep that their line pretty well fought. I think it's about time to switch to a line. You can hear their musicians going off too, which is fun. Okay, they're gonna start fanning out. They have a longer range than the recruits will have in both sides, so they'll actually be able to... I'm going to temporarily turn them off for a second because I want to make sure they're all in formation before they start opening fire so they get maximum shock effect. I want to run up a little bit. Okay, and now they're going to volley fire. So we did a good chunk of damage, and we really damaged their morale. So if it gets to that where that line is, they're going to start retreating. And if we completely drain the morale, the unit shatters, and it no longer fights. Okay, so you can see the recruits are not as good at the volley fire, even in the volley fire mode. They kind of just will let loose a little bit. So we got to kind of be, you know, be careful with that. And see, look at that. That was so devastating. They just ran away immediately. In fact, we're actually going to pursue them. We want to try to shatter that unit as soon as we can. Oh, okay. Let's try to wait for them. Okay, we did a decent amount of damage. So that bar that's charging is like a charge bonus. So you get a bonus in your melee on that. So I tried to time it as best I could there, but that a little bit rough. Okay, and we fought them off. So they're gonna they took quite a bit of damage there from that, but that's okay. Let's actually move up. Come on, break that unit. We're so close. They're getting tired, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna break it, shatter it. All right, shattered. There. Okay, we're gonna try to hit them with like maybe like 3 at once. I think that would be pretty cool. See, they're very tired now. Their stamina is really running out. And everybody just open fire. Oh, that came so close to check. Come on. Oh, yeah, we did it. Okay, we got it. That's awesome. They're very tired, but we're going to chill. I don't think we're going to be able to get the reload off in time, even at fire at will. We'll get a few shots in. Okay. We're going to countercharge and get some charge bonus for melee here. We should eat through them here pretty fast. Yep. Okay. There we go. That was not bad. Probably took a little more casualties than I should have if I had been a little more daring with maybe some earlier charges and such. But overall, not too bad. So we got 131 Thalers. And then we get some equipment here. So we got some carbines, got capture uniforms. These are like sellable material. We also got T, which gives better accuracy and reload. That's pretty good. Some kind of a treatise gives cover bonus and max range. That's good. That can be used for infantry and artillery. So that's interesting. And then we got canister rounds for artillery, which we don't have any yet, but that can be useful later. And then we have 3 options. Once again, kind of like Total War. So we can ransom, which will get us ammunition and Thalor. We can conscript, which will give us reservists and give us a little flat casualties restored. We don't really have we didn't take a whole lot of casualties here. So I don't think that's the extra reservists or casualty restored is not particularly useful yet, especially because we have that canton system. So we're going to get a lot more recruits. Exchange gives us provisions, which is always good, and veterancy, which is also always good. So I think ransom or exchange would be best. I think I'm going to go with ransom for now. I want to try to get these recruits out of being recruits as fast as possible. So let's do that. So now we're going to get post-battle. Units are going to get their experience. So everybody went up a level, which is not enough to upgrade, but it's decent. And now we can replenish army strength. So we take our reservists and add them to our various units here. So we're going to add them there and as much as we can to that unit. Okay. And then we can replenish ammo. So the ammunition was used during the fight and now we have to replenish it. So we use about 76 ammo to refill everybody, but that's okay. And then we have some more things we can equip. So we can actually give some carbines to our cavalry, so they'll have a little bit of ranged firepower. I think that's a good idea. We have a couple other things. Let's give you the T, because you don't have a food ration. So some of these you can only have one of each type on a unit. And then why don't we give you guys the cover bonus? We'll give the scrubs the cover bonus. I think that'll be good. And we just have canister shot, which we might sell in the beginning here. We'll see. And then captured uniforms, which we will sell. Okay. So from here on out, we can choose to go. So we actually have a herd here. We could try to look at that, but we won't move very fast on roads. So let's just start with going to town. Now, that's a little glitch, but it's fine. Okay. So we enter town. Towns will have different buildings that you can do different things at. So one of the things you can always do is buy provisions, reservists, and ammunition. So 70 gets us 120, $60 gets us 500 reservists, 30 Thaler, I see dollars, but Thaler gives us 50 provisions. Provisions get eaten every day, by the way, if you hadn't seen that. So and the bigger your army is, the more provisions you eat through. So we got that 350 reservists for entering this town. So that's cool. So let's see, Staff College lets us buy specialty people. So you get like a surgeon, which is expensive. It's 200, but it's we also have an engineer. That's good. Engineers are good. So that will give us plus 44% to casualties restored to that unit and minus 34% attrition. That's a very good unit. It's a good surgeon, so it's very good. We have engineers, recover bonuses and range, so that can be useful. And certain challenges, as we'll eventually see, Having chaplain's actually good too. Having something like an engineer can unlock different choices in these kind of like events that happen, which you can see at one point. We have a barracks, so this is where you can buy units. Now they're more expensive at this thing because it has the negative malice, and we have less options. So we only have recruits, and they're much more expensive than usual. So we're not going to buy anything here, at least in that for that. And then artillery is also more expensive, artillery units, which we don't have any artillery units here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then you have artillery guns, which can be pretty expensive, especially 12-pounders, but they are so devastating. It's great. Okay, so let's sell the clothes. And we'll hold on to the canisters for now, but we're going to sell the clothes. It doesn't really matter where you sell them. The town has a pool of money, and that's just what you get. And the town square will get you different rations and things you can do for small bonuses to your men. But yeah, there's not really much else to do here. I'm not going to buy any guns because you can actually get guns fairly easily from fights or looting, which I think we will do here soon. Yeah, there's not really much else to do. Let's also replenish. Now, it usually takes a few days, which pass over time. So we're at day 4 from the fighting and the marching. But let's see. So if we pillage right now, we'll get 3 Fowler per regiment in the army and 4 provisions per regiment in the army. So that's 12 and 16 right now. But we won't be able to move while we're doing it. But I say let's do it because this town sucks. So let's just get some cash. And it'll just take time as we try to burn the city down. And it looks like Secure was just walking into him. So that's cool. Let's speed up time a little bit. Oh, we had a patrol. Came at us. I sped up time, so I didn't have time to really react too much, but they got some Jaegers and some recruits and then just some bad cavalry. So they're slightly larger than us, but not that good of an army. We should be able to deal with it pretty easily, especially if we go on the defensive. And this will also be good because we might get some equipment, get some money and some stuff to equip or sell. So overall, it's good to fight battles. It's like fighting enemies in a RPG is what gets you equipment and loot and experience. So what I'm thinking here is if we try to meet them in the middle, I mean we might be able to make it up to like say here, but they're gonna probably be in that tree line by then. We could make a defensive line, probably like up on this hill, and that'll give us an advantage. Or I'm also thinking we actually just march up the road up to this hill and this hedge line, and we'll have a pretty distinct advantage that they'll be out in the open. I think that might be the best move, honestly, because here they can get up on the, even if we make a defensive line here, which would be okay, except that they're going to be able to get on these fence and tree lines and get some cover. So I think this is the way to go. Let's get everybody in a column. And I for sure want the hill to be taken advantage of by the recruits so they can get an accuracy bonus. And then we'll have our musketeers here on the fence post. Depending on exactly how this line looks, we may end up pushing the recruits even over that far. So we'll see how it goes exactly. But first, we just got to get them there. I'm going to push you guys up front at first just to... Okay, let's speed up the initial advance here just to kind of get through that. Rotate the camera a little bit. They got their Jaegers moving up. They move pretty quick too. gonna have to try to use the horses to kind of hit the Jaegers. I'm actually not sure exactly what is their range. They have a range. That's their accuracy. What's their range? 131. So they do outrange me. So I want to see if I can get them to fire off a volley, maybe here at my guys, where they're in a lot of cover. And then from there, we can have the opportunity to maybe charge with our horses. Oh, they actually got close enough to get a volley. Okay. Screw it. We're just going to go for that charge there early, even though we're probably going to get countercharged, but at least we might be able to hit the Jaegers hard here. Come on. Ooh, they got a volley in right at the last second. Yeah, we're going to get countercharged, but... Alright, we'll get out of there. Our fire over there. Yep, okay, that unit's retreating. Let me see if I can get close enough to maybe re-rally these guys. Their morale's going back up a bit, but if I can get Frederick with them, it'll probably help quite a bit. Okay. Maybe do one more volley, and then I'm actually going to retreat back so we can try to get the scrubs into the fight, which sounds funny when I say it like that. Okay. Come on. Come on. Rally. Okay, there we go. So while it wasn't the best cavalry charge there at the beginning, you know, it did actually delay them a little bit, and it did get that their other cavalry to charge and to make a poor charge themselves, so worked out okay, all things considered. Save. Okay, counter charge. Come on. Oh, they're so close to taking them down. Come on. Let's charge. Ah, didn't get the shots off in time. That was a good volley. All right, the noobs are gonna break and retreat. But we are gonna keep up the good fight. Take down those cavalry first. They're gonna retreat real fast. Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay. Forgot my horsies were back here. I should have deployed them as a screener earlier. But hey, it is what it is. Okay, the noobs are gonna rally. Oops. At least they've recovered their stamina. Oh, and they retreated. Okay, that was it. Overall, not too bad, apart from that somewhat poorly timed cavalry charge, but hey, kept them at bay. So we got a little money again. So we got some more clothes. We got some better muskets. That'll be good. We can equip our guys with that here. Now, so this is where it's like conscript might be a little useful to get us reservists since we took some losses there. But I think I'm still going to stick with veterancy for now. There, that's good. So we're going to refill our thing. Oh, and our officer leveled up, so we can take another trait. So elusive, we have better cover efficiency and fire damage, minus better stamina and stamina recovery speed, and better artillery range, but minus 5% reload. We don't have any artillery yet, and I think I'm going to keep him as an infantry general mostly. So we're going to let's get agile, because I think stamina would be pretty useful here. And then we definitely want to refill you to max, and maybe we'll try to get you up a little bit, but we're going to be slightly out here, but that's okay. So let's give you the better muskets that we have available. If you look here, we since we have 3 points, we have potentially 3 different things we can upgrade them to here. We can get them to the free corps infantry, which will get them over to the Jaegers, or we can go to the militia, which will get them to Prussian Fusiliers, or we can go into artillery. We're not going to do any of those right now. I'm going to get them into another musketeer unit. I want at least 2 of those. Now them, it's tempting. We'll think about it. We'll think about what to do with them later. We got some time. Yeah, okay. That's all we need to do for now. Let's go back to pillaging. Speed up time a little bit here. Give us that money and that recruit. All right, and we also got some more items from that. So that's something we can do. We can even give our cavalry here something useful, like some haversacks and blanket rolls, and why not some coffee rations for now, just for now. Oh, I must have hit a wrong button. I did. That's okay. All right, let's go check out this outpost and see what's over there. Sometimes we get some useful things from that. Oh, we have volunteers ready to sell their lives to the cause. They have volunteered to strike them. I know this. We may dispatch them at once, so we can train them and dispatch them. So we have 2 days and 80 ammunition to delay the headquarters by 2 weeks. We can arm them and dispatch them at once. It was 48 ammunition, and they add 1 week, or we can just get some extra reservists. So that's 2 days. So we gain 12 days versus gaining 7 days, and then expend 80 ammunition. I think that's, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. So we'll do that, and we got an extra time on that. That's good. Let's head over to Rastadat. Check that out. Okay, so we got our reservists there. So let's try to refill again. We'll need a little bit more. And we have cheaper reservists here, 33 for 500. So we will spend a little bit of money to get some extra. We also have a noble estate, which is important. I was going to say we can get an officer, but we actually can't because we have there's the brain drain plus our minus from the Junker aristocracy. So we don't have any of those to get. We could potentially buy a unit to have in reserve. So it might be worthwhile to maybe get an artillery unit available. We have some free corps artillery, which is okay. Battalion artillery, which is also all right. So that might be something to consider here. Let's also sell those uniforms we don't need and the worn muskets. So we get a little extra money there. We probably need a little more ammunition, so we'll do that as well. Stable for horses and swords. Not going to worry about that too much yet. I think maybe we will buy an artillery unit to hold, because we do have to siege 2 forts, so having artillery is going to be important for that. And then I don't have to train another one. And actually, let me see, what was it? What do we get on our... If we siege the 2 forts, we'll get artillery as well. So the other option is... well, I don't know. Let's leave it for now. We'll check this fort out and see what happens if we go check that out. And we can go from there. So we can entrench around it. The fort's readouts are unmanned. Interesting. We identified a fort traditional sign. Let's see what happens. So, okay. Now that we've done that, we can... So yeah, we can order on bombardment with expend ammunition, but we'd have to have artillery. Mass bombardment, if we had, we've spent a lot of ammunition, but we have a moderate chance, we can do that, or we can try to undermine it if we have an engineer or a saboteur doctrine, which will guarantee it for far less ammunition, but we don't have that, so we can't. So what happens if we abandon the siege? So it does not count, yeah. So what do we want to do with that then? Well, let's come back for a minute. I'm actually going to buy more ammo. Let's buy some artillery. And let's give it a shot and see what happens. If we... So now we'll have an artillery in reserve. Let's swap them out for a minute. I don't actually know if you need to swap them out now that I'm thinking about it. Let me, just for the sake, let's just see what happens. What if we go there with it just in the... Okay, so yeah, we just need that. Well, let's try it with a mass bombardment. The wall is breached. Okay, the walls are breached. So now we can wait 4 days and starve them out. Assault after bombardment, which uses even more ammunition, but as a highlight, or into the breach, 10%, and we do this. Let's just wait it out, and the defenders surrender. Okay, so we gain a new doctrine and capture 4 weapons. So we gain, oh, we got a lot of muskets. And we got a new doctrine. Oh, okay. So we have less attrition, which seems potentially useful. Oh, extended training. Better get, oh, a lot of veterancy for training. I don't use drill that much, but that is a stance. I didn't actually go over the stances. That's something we can do to gain veterancy without having to fight more. But we use up more ammunition. Or we get local guides reveal all settlements in every region, which if the campaign demo went on longer, that would probably be pretty good. But ooh, maybe we want to move into doing more drilling, even though I don't usually, but maybe that's could be worthwhile. Then again, let's go with less attrition for now. Since I don't usually use drill that much, I don't know, not sure. Let's go see what's going on in these slums. So we can pay for local intelligence for patrol armies, pay for full military intelligence for every army for 48, hire them for sabotage and delay by 2 weeks. Let's sabotage. I like more time is good. More time is good. All right, let's see. What do we got over here? Altenburg. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 Oh, actually, let me go back to my thing here for a second, because we want to give you guys better muskets. Let's give you some Potsdam muskets. There we go. What do you guys? You guys have Potsdam muskets as well already, so that's okay. And we can give you guys better bayonets as well than the crappy worn ones. All right, and we'll sell you. We do have some extra. We might get some recruits at some point, so we might want to hold on to those for now. Was there any? So we could potentially get an officer for a little bit. We're gonna want that officer eventually to expand our brigades here, but let's go find somewhere where we can earn some money, either from a combat or from some sort of a raid or something. Let's check this convoy. What can we do here? Lose some reservists. Provide a large escort. Let's provide a large escort. Let's see what happens. Convoy ambushed. Damn. Okay, well, bad luck there. What happens? Ooh, we got horse breeders. Better recruits for horses here. Yeah, oh, yeah, so they're less expensive. So we don't have enough money, but that's an interesting thing to note there. Well, probably not going to use this for much, to be honest. So let's get some extra dosh this way. Let's just raid. Okay. Got us a little more. Let's go check out this convoy. Notice we move slower when we're not on the road. Seize what we can. Aggressively. You get 1 day for an extra. Nah, let's just seize what we can and move. So that got us a little more cash again. So this town was good for selling, so let's head over there. That's a pretty decent limber chests. What's this up to 250? Let's just buy you. So he's a blank slate, so we could use him, maybe mold him into an artillery commander. Maybe we should let's go try sieging this fort down and see if we can get that extra unit. Ooh, encampment. Let's go see what's over here, actually. Oh, we can try to... Let's try to cross with improvised rafts. I don't really want to spend the money, so let's just try it. And hey, we did it. We captured 2 weapon items. And we got a bunch of reservists from prisoners. That's awesome. Okay, that actually worked out extremely well. Ooh. Yeah, let's hit the fort first, see what happens. Oh, nothing over here. Okay, we can garrison the fort. Or we can strip it for... Yeah, let's garrison it. And that'll give us... That's 2 forts. So we got us more weapons that we're probably just going to sell here. And a little delay, and we got our artillery unit. So let's go sell some weapons here. Oh, that's a big field army. I don't want to fight that. Let's force march. Oh, 2 big field armies. Oh, this is bad. Let's get out of here. Okay. Whew. All right. That got a little dicey for a second. Let's sell some of these. Now we'll have 2 artillery units in their brigade there. So there, we now have an artillery battery or batteries. And let's see, we have field artillery has 6-pounder guns. let's give you the canister rounds. And we'll give you guys the large limber chest for less ammo consumption. Well, actually, let's see, 20, yeah, we'll just, it doesn't really matter that much then. We'll just give you guys that chest, even if you'll move a little slower. Let me see, because it's 4. Yeah, you need 4. They're both 4. It's fine. Okay, okay. So these are only 3-pounder guns, which are not very damaging, but they'll do okay. They'll get the job done. 6-pounders are pretty good in standard. If we can at some point get enough money to get some 12-pounders, those do the real damage, especially morale damage. Like if you have enemy recruits coming at you. Okay, so that's an entrenched army, so it's not going to move, but we don't want to fight it either. So let's go see what's over here. So we have an assault here. Let's fuck it. Let's just do it. Hey, okay. Got some even better units or better weapons. Actually, let's. These are really good. 138 versus 129. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, we'll give that to them. $119 versus $119. Yeah, those are all about the same. Oops, did it again. Okay. So let's try to get away from that unit here. Okay. Whew. They're coming for us, and they're like twice our size. I really don't want to fight them. Okay, okay. So let's see, we need 325 for some more recruits, which I kind of want to get, even if it's just recruits. Or maybe some land mills. I just need to get something, but we should probably buy a little more ammunition though too anyway. So we need to find a way to get, okay, we want to avoid that army too. We need to find a way to get more, shoot. Okay, that army we can fight. I just want to make sure we're away from the other one. Okay. Let's do this little fight here and round up the episode. And then we'll resume next episode. Yep, so kind of similar situation to the other one. Okay. They have a Fusilier unit, though, not just a Enchaucer. So they have light infantry, a Fusilier unit, so not just recruits, and then a unit of recruits, and then some provincial cavalry. Okay. So not too dissimilar from the last fight, although we do have cannon now, and that'll be very useful. So cannon does a lot of morale damage when you get solid hits. And like I had one campaign where I had a couple batteries of 12-pounder cannons, and a single volley from both of them kind of hitting a recruit unit at once, it would just immediately shatter the unit. Like just no fight in them after that. So that was very cool to know, to see. Okay. So for this, I think we're just going to push out to this hill, get our recruits and our artillery on it. Maybe keep our musketeers. I could try to push them on the flank here so that we can once again kind of maintain cover. But with the Fusilier, the enemy Fusiliers on this side, I think I might actually want to keep them kind of here and maybe try to get a flank or at least hold the Fusiliers here. I think that might be the way to do it. So I'm actually going to put, I'm still going to put everybody in column. But I want you guys here, and you two over here. The horsies, we're going to stay kind of in the center and see where we need to go. And I want both artillery over here. Oh, it's, I didn't talk about this either, but your first brigade is where your sub-commander officers are. So, for instance, this guy, he's with the musketeers, and he has a command radius for morale bonus as well, where his things are good. So that's another important kind of thing to think about too. Anyway, let's see here. can be here. All right. Move up. Speed up the initial opening here. I don't want you guys on fire at will. Okay, they're pretty far out, so let's actually try to get some shots in with our horses. Screw it, charge. Just fire at will. Okay, and we'll force them to retreat as well. So very good opening hit there. See, oh, I wasn't paying attention to it before, but you can see the artillery has been hitting the recruits, and it's their morale. They already retreated once, and their morale is just tanking. So, yeah, important thing to note. So I could switch to canister, but they'd have to reload again, so I'm not going to do that yet. I might do that here in a second, though, here. Let's let them get a volley off. Switch to canister, and then let's target them. Charge the cavalry. Yeah. Wait for a good timing. And now. Look at that. That was beautiful. Okay, the angle's going to be all cattywampus now, so we're not going to... I'm forgetting the hotkeys on how to untoggle some of the that, so... If we reposition here, and then we'll... Now we can start firing. Oh, and they already retreated anyway. Okay. There we go. So that was that went pretty much as good as it could have possibly gone, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, I didn't capture it all completely or focus on it too much, but you can kind of see the background. So the artillery can be very devastating. So despite the numbers being a little bit, actually they were actually in our favor with the never mind. So even though they were trying their best with that, and they had a cavalry advantage, it just couldn't make up for the sheer volume of firepower we could unleash. And we want money and ammo, so we're gonna take that. for sure. Okay, these guys are almost ready to advance. Oh no, sorry, 4. Yep, 4. So let's actually advance them into musketeers, because that's what I wanted to do. All right, so now we have another unit musketeers, so all their stats increased and everything, and that went really swimmingly. And with that, I think something we're going to do is swap out the veterancy unit there. We're going to give it to them. And give you guys that. Now, you know, I didn't think about it, but I actually have the pickaxes too, and we want to give a cover bonus. I think we'll try to give a cover bonus to our field show, especially if we're going to have canister shot where there might be close enemies. We want to do that. Okay. So let's stop in this town actually real fast. Sell some stuff. Okay, and we got that pillager achievement because we secured 6 towns. I wasn't even counting anymore, but there. So now we'll be quite adept at pillaging. So what do we have here to recruit? We have some more cantonists, some more artillery potentially. So we can sell them. Can maybe even sell haversacks. So I think it was 525 was for the land mills that were up here, right? I think so. We're getting pretty close to the HQ coming in, and I'm not sure if we really have time to be going back and forth in that fashion. So we may need to just grab what we can. Yeah, there it is. Right now. And not worry too much about trying to go back and get the most optimum unit like that. I think we'll just grab some recruits. Yeah, we'll just grab some recruits. Give him something to kind of boost a little bit, because we just need to buff up our numbers at this point and make sure that we actually have enough to do it. Let's raid a little bit again. It's going to take a few days, but that'll give us enough stuff here, I think. We can start heading kind of south to these towns. Eventually that's going to be ready to go here pretty soon. Where was it again? Oh, there it is. So let's see. They're at about 9,000 men. I mean, if we got in a tight defensive position, we might be able to take them on, but it'll be tricky. All right. Well, let's stop for... I'm going to stop at this episode for now. In fact, I'm going to do a quick save. We'll just do vid 1. Yeah. So next episode, we'll see what happens here for as I move south to try to shore up my army a bit more and get ready for the final battle. Oh, actually, let me check something here. Oh, never mind. What? I just realized, I could probably recruit another Cantonist regiment after that. I just raided the village, but I can probably get another one, maybe down here or something else. So we'll see what we can do. Although that's maybe even farther south. So we'll see what we do next episode as we're going to prepare for the clash with the final enemy army in the area. All right, so catch you next time. Thanks for watching.